Hi, I'm so happy that you guys have all joined us today. How are you doing, Ms. Sindhu?
Good, fine, thank you. How are you?
Very, very well. We've had a little free conversation before we started with what is going to be a wonderful day. Our wonderful, wonderful guest who's going to be with us, who's actually with us already this afternoon. She truly actually does not need any introduction. She is absolutely par excellence. If there's an example of somebody who does what they do absolutely brilliantly, it's her. She's somebody who is, of course, a Padma Bhushan. That's such a big honor for somebody who is so young at the moment. Such a wonderful honor for a woman like her. She's talented. She's young, she's magnanimous, and she, of course, has won unparalleled laurels for our country. She's an Olympian. Well, that's a badge she's going to wear all her life. She's somebody who's actually gone ahead and won a silver medal. She's actually the first Indian woman to win a silver medal at the Olympics, and that is bravo. That in itself is so big, so huge. It's amazing, and such a big round of applause for her for doing such a wonderful feat. Well, not only Olympics, BWF circuit, a gold medal at the 2019 World Championship. Well, the list pretty much goes on, and it's going to be quite a long list if I go and settle on reading all of her and acquainting you with all of her accomplishments this morning. She's just fabulous. Let's just say that. And thank you very much once again for joining us. I wanted to ask you first off the hat, the Tokyo Olympics are very, very close. How are you preparing for them? Are you excited? I mean, given, of course, this strange year that we've had, 2020.
Yeah, well, really looking forward for the Tokyo Olympics. And of course, it's exciting. And I'm sure that we all have to be really very careful in these times, and it is very important to stay safe. But really looking forward for the Tokyo. The preparations are going on, and it's just a couple of months away. So yeah,
we're really looking forward to watch what wonderful exhibition you have to show us in Tokyo 2021. How has this year been for you in general? It's been such a strange year for the entire planet. How has this been year personally for you?
Well, it's been tough. It's been like, we haven't been able to train. I mean, the last year when, everything has happened, everything has come to a standstill. Like we all, had to just stay at home doing nothing. And for the first time, I think we've not had any tournaments and we were just at home. So I was just training at home, but not going and playing badminton. But, I think we have to get used to these situations right now. And, like now slowly everything has started, and sport has been back again, and it's good that we are lucky that the tournaments are happening internationally.
Right.
So initially it was a bit hard because for the first time we had to just stay at home for like months and months, but I think it was something new for everyone where we just had to keep ourselves busy and stay positive. And I think from their normal routine to spending a lot of time with their parents and learning new stuff, and also at home, it was something new for me. So it was something different, I would say.
Tell me something. I think if one thing which we all have been taught more than anything else last year and this year continuing is that परिवर्तन शायद सृष्टि का एकमात्र नियम है. Change is the only constant, really, right? And to adapt to is the only way to win at it or sustain yourself in any way. How has your training as a sports person changed? I mean, when you're indoors, how has it changed? I mean, other than the mental work that you're doing, how do you train yourself in the real sport?
Well, it's very important to stay mentally and physically fit, and in these conditions, in this pandemic, it was really hard where physically and mentally as well, we had to be like, okay, we need to take care of ourselves, to keep sanitizing, and even when we go on court, we have to make sure everything is clean, and we have to maintain that social distance. But also at the same time, we are happy that we are back on court and we can give 100%. But as a player, as an athlete, going there, playing for the country, and it's a bit sad that there are no spectators there are no fans in the stadium to support us. But I think as I said, we need to get used to the situations where you have to just play a game, be focused, and yeah, just win it and just come back and just be focused for the next one. That is how it is, and we have to get used to it. So for me, especially, like right now, I've played a couple of tournaments just for myself, going there and training and then going and playing without no spectators. But it's a bit different, I would say. But I think, yeah, this is how it's gonna be.
What does this particular contest, which is the International Women's Day contest introduced by Bank of Baroda, Salute Her Shakti, mean to you, and how important do you think it is?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a while since actually I've been associated with the Bank of Baroda family, and the relation I have with the bank is incomparable. They've been really very supportive, and there are quite a few initiatives that the bank is undertaken to aid women, and I think it's incredible because they're doing a really great job. So when I heard about Salute Her Shakti contest, I was really excited to read all the stories, and of course social media has the power to reach out to the masses, and when women share the inspirational stories, it really does make a difference, and I think it has made a difference, and I'm really very happy Bank of Baroda is so actively promoting such initiatives on social medias, and on social media, I think they've come up with this, and I think it's definitely a wonderful initiative.
Your association, like you just mentioned, with Bank of Baroda has been a long sustained one. It's like a forever rishta, and in particular, Bank of Baroda has a lot of schemes which are like the Mahila Savings Account and the Baroda Gold Loan, which are very specially designed for women, keeping them in mind, which is absolutely a wonderful thing. All right, now you've taken us through your journey, what you think about the contest. Let me introduce our wonderful winners of this particular contest. There were so many entries that we got, and all of them are exemplary women doing such great work everywhere. But Ms. Sindhu, it is my privilege to introduce these three wonderful women to you who've been doing wonderful work in their own areas. It's such a wonderful, inspiring story, truly a representative of Salute Her Shakti. So say hello to Nupur Agarwal.
Congratulations.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi.
They are really very excited to meet you here.
Thank you.
I'm having my
Very
fan
excited.
moment.
Oh, you have a bunch of fans you have absolutely no idea about. To just begin this whole conversation, before these three lovely ladies share their stories with us and ask you their questions, I wanted to ask you some very specific women-centric questions, Ms. Adhu. One of them is, tell us about, I think I know a little bit about this, but I'd like to hear it. I think I read it in one of your interviews where you mentioned your mother and the dedication that she had in your practices, in your whole career. But tell us something about the inspiration women have had in your career, and if there's one particular woman, if there are several women, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, especially firstly, yes, my mom, as you mentioned, is definitely an inspiration for me as a woman. I think supported me, encouraged me to this level, and she is still encouraging me and supporting me no matter what. So initially, when I used to, when I started off playing badminton, it was more of like, I didn't know that, people didn't know that I'll become a world champion or an Olympic silver medalist then.
Yeah.
So was like, what's going to happen? Like, her colleagues and relatives and friends were like, okay. At that point of time, it was like more on studies and, sport was just a small thing then. My mom and dad both used to work, and, for me, they've given VRs, they left the job, and, we shifted nearby to the academy so that I could go train and come back, and, she would be ready with the food so that, I don't waste my time and I get good rest. So these are few few, sacrifices that she's done. And, every time I go for a tournament or I come back from a tournament, I win or lose, she's like, you've done it and it's okay. I mean, you have really worked hard. And when I used to lose, she used to say, okay, there's always a next time and you can come back much more stronger, and you need to just be focused and believe in yourself. So she keeps telling me these few things so that, that motivation is definitely very much important for every individual. An athlete herself, she used to play volleyball, so she's experienced a lot, and I have come so far, and she's been always supporting and encouraging. And I think that power and that encouragement has driven me till here. So yeah.
Well, thank you to Mama Sindhu for giving us the fabulous Lady Sindhu. Who do you think has inspired you in the world of sport in general? Did you ever look up to somebody, a lady in sport, and say, you know what, I'd like to be something like her someday?
Definitely, I would say in every country, I am sure that in every sport, there's definitely one or the other woman who's done really well for their country. For example, Serena Williams, who's done, exceptionally well for herself, being a
and
mother.
Still continues to.
Exactly, being a mother, and she herself has proved that she can do it, and she's done it, and she's proved herself. So I'm sure there's not just one or two women, but I'm sure that there are a lot of women, not only in sport but also in various things, like in business, in studies, in anything. Women are doing really well. So I am really honored to say that being a woman, and I'm sure that women out there are doing really well for their country, and we are not like less than men, and we are equally doing well. So I would say that we have to be proud about that.
Yes.
What are the practical barriers do you think that you have faced in the world of sport, specifically being of the other gender, and how do you overcome them to be successful?
Earlier, people used to say that women are not supposed to come out, or women are just need to stay at home. But I think now in this century, 21st century, I think everything has changed, and women are doing really well. So I think we have to just believe in ourselves and keep going, and we have to think of ourselves as, yes, we are strong and we are equal to men. So it's not like we can't do this or we can't do that. And we as women, I'm sure that women empowerment is where that we have to think for ourselves that yes, we can do. And definitely hard work, yes, is part of your life, but at the same time you need to keep believing in yourself, and you need to have that hope that you can do. And I'm sure that one fine day you will be there.
As more opportunities open up for women in every field, hopefully, I mean that's the hope, why do you think it's more important for women to take up sport?
It's everybody's own, I would say, own decision to take up sports or not. I'm sure that now a lot of people, a lot of women, a lot of girls are taking up sport, and I think which is a good thing. And firstly, before talking about sports or women, I think exercise is very important for every person.
Correct.
And I think in that way, if you start off, it's not about men or women. And
Right.
now women definitely, yes, they are doing well for themselves, and I'm sure that you have to continue that. You have to not be scared of anything. And I think if you definitely have interest in any sport, you will definitely come up. So women coming into sports shouldn't be an issue at all. In fact, we need to be proud that yes, women are into sports and are achieving and doing well for the country.
Thank you, Ms. Sindhu. Now, I think a wonderful example is you have that cuddly little pink bear right behind you in the background, and you're tough as nails. It's such a wonderful concoction of women can be strong, but women can be soft, but can be strong as steel. It's wonderful. Thank you very much for that fantastic background. Let me introduce Nupur to you, Ms. Sindhu. Nupur is this wonderful lady. Nupur, say hi.
Hi. I'm so happy
Hi,
to be talking
okay.
to you. It's it's wonderful to be on the same platform as all of you here.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
But listen, you're exemplary yourself. Miss Sindhu, let me tell you that Nupur has been doing some wonderful work, and she's been doing it for a while consistently. She's from Bombay, and she lives in Andheri. And she has been actually part of something which is going to sustain us for the ages, which is cleaning up our beautiful beaches. Yeah. And not only is she very, very purpose driven when it comes to that particular thing, our ecological, credibility and sustaining the environment, but also the fact that she found love on the beach. Yeah. She found her love, her amour on the beach, got married, and still kind of drives herself to doing what she believes is really purposeful. Nupur, tell us a little bit about your story. Tell us a little bit about your romance on the beach, and tell us how it keeps to sustain you in what you think is important.
Yes, thank you for that introduction. So I'll not take much time. I'll try and tell my journey in a very brief way. I'm from Calcutta, born and brought up there, and I remember coming to Mumbai as usual. The city of dreams. Just making your career and stuff like that. And I love beaches, so I walked onto one beach, Juhu Beach, and I saw
Who doesn't love beach? You tell.
I know that's also true. Who doesn't love beaches? And I walked onto Juhu Beach and it was so dirty. And I just walked back and I said that, chalo, theek hai, it's okay that Calcutta doesn't have beaches. If beaches have to be so dirty, then it's fine. That.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad instantly when I said that. But then, that was what I was left with. And I remember telling my friend in the evening, and then he just said that if you find it so dirty, why don't you clean it? And yes, that's what it actually, and how it actually started. And I know about, I'm not sure if you guys know about Afroz Shah. So he has been doing this Versova beach cleanup. And I went with Saturday, started cleaning with him. And I mean, I still get goosebumps when I get to, when I relive that feeling. Because I cleaned that beach for 2 hours and I actually believe that we can make a difference. And that feeling of empowerment is what drives me still. Because everybody says that ek din saaf kiya, again it'll get dirty tomorrow. So what is the point of cleaning it? And what, doing the same stuff again and again. And the basic answer is it's not the destination. Clean beach is not what of course it's one of the aim, but it's a small part of the whole journey because it's really big out there. There is a huge problem. We all live in a bubble. I mean, some people feel causes, right? We all have different, I do feel for this cause, other people feel for other causes. But what I really learned that very first day is that it's important to do something about what you really feel. And it's not easy to just, in fact, go there every weekend. I've been doing this for 4-5 years now. And what really drives me is just if I see 2 new faces on the beach or, it's just really cleaner or, when people come and tell me that, I've stopped using straw and, I've stopped doing this and that. And just it just gives me that little feeling of high, that motivation, everything that just keeps me going. And yes, like I said, I found my husband on the beach. And we were cleaning together and we used to go on after cleanup dates and this beach cleanup is a community on its own, there's no discrimination there is no girl boy, there is no we have the consulates cleaning, we have some people cleaning, we all eat together. So to me it was the family I missed in Bombay because it was coming from a different city. And Ashwin, my husband, we met, we fell in love, and then of course we knew that if we have to get married, it has to be a zero-waste wedding because it makes a difference out there, right? And that's how we started Green Myna, which is basically we organize events, sustainable events, specifically weddings, because we really feel that it's not about one day generating waste. In fact, just to give you some figures, one event can literally create 30-40 kilos of trash, and we have dealt with it. It's not even fun how much plastic bottles or there are 300 average guests, literally 1200 plastic bottles. So once you really get into the numbers, once you get into the statistics, once you get into the whole Indian wedding grandeur, you realize that there is so much, I won't use the word dirt, but a lot of trash below it. And that's what we want to target, not just for weddings. Now we go into events, and Green Myna somehow it's just a brand that is giving whatever we do or whatever we feel some kind of legitimacy. But apart from that, really planting trees, giving talks, talking, because honestly, it's the language of love. When it comes to environment, you cannot tell others to stop using straw. You can just say why you should stop using straw. Listen, these are the figures, these are the facts. Now it's on you to decide, because, like I always say, it's you feel the cause. Might not be that the other person feels as passionately as you do, but it's important to speak. It's important to say. It's important to make your thought process, out there. Tell them this is what is happening, and then leave it to them. Like, when people don't come for cleanups, when people don't do it, it's okay. Like, we don't judge them. It's not fair to judge, but at the same time, it's like we continue doing it, because it's important to continue. And like, I think Sunanda used the word consistent, right? It's so important to be consistent, to do what you do, because it's the belief. You can never give up on the belief. You can never give up on the hope. And I think that's what keeps us going, and that will keep us going forever. And that's precisely my journey. And to be fair, the look for 4 years back in Mumbai and look for here, after 4-5 years in Mumbai, there's a sea of change, a big difference in how I feel, what I do. I feel far more in control of my life as a woman. I feel empowered. I feel confident every time I walk out. And I know that, when people come and ask me, why are you cleaning the beach? I have an answer for them. It's as simple as probably because you are not cleaning it, because it makes a difference somewhere, because it makes me feel the way I feel right now. Probably it's very internal, probably it's something that, probably, Sindhu, when you win a game, the high that you feel, when probably, there's just a small clean patch on the beach, the high that I get, no, I can't explain. Like, still now I'm getting like that goosebumps. It's just, that's how passionately I feel for this. And I really want that, and I really hope one day, of course, we get a clean planet. We do what we have to do for our environment. Just yes, the trouble is there, the problem is there. We all know it, and we need to do something about it. So yeah, I think that's basically how I want to do it.
Yeah, I think you've been doing really a great job, Nupur, and I think you shouldn't be, taking a back step, where people to think, oh, what's happening, or aaj to theek rahega, kal fir se, it's gonna be the same. I think even if people say that, you have to, it's your passion, and you need to do what you like, and you went forward with that, and I'm sure you've done an amazing job, and it is very important that you find happiness in what you do. And that's the most important thing. And I'm sure that you found that happiness. You found your husband there. You fell in love. You got married. So basically, everything is there. And I think once again, congratulations. And I think that's a brilliant, thing what you've done. And it is very important, for everybody to understand the nature, what it is and how it is. And you have to go forward with it, because we are in such a world where, our environment is very, very important. And we are living in such a world where we need to take care of ourselves, and we need to take care of our environment, now and also in the future. So once again, good job.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like honestly so individual, it seems like, you do it for the planet, you do it for the environment, but somewhere deep within it's so much for myself, because, it just makes me feel
exactly.
So good.
It's important.
Yeah, it feels selfish, but that's it, like, that's probably the core of what makes me do it every week. So yeah.
True.
Yeah, there's magic in commitment for sure. And I'm coming to get my husband one of these weekends in Nupur, yeah? So hello.
Please do. I'll share the schedule.
All right. Yes, please do that. Okay, now moving on, Ms. Sandhu, let me introduce you to Amita Garg here. Now, Amita Garg is, again, a formidable lady. She's formidable because she has been what the backbone of our country is, a homemaker. A homemaker who produces and who cares and who, toils for so long and almost goes unnoticed and under the radar for so long. But this lady has done it for so long, and there's something in her life which happened which turned everything. And she started this wonderful initiative. Amita, Go ahead, Amita. I'd like to know about your story.
I have to start from 3 years back. First of all, hi Sindhu, and
hello.
I really I'm having my fan moment, so I'll have to take some time getting back to my story, because seeing you here, I have all my goosebumps. Actually, when I came across this contest one incident that changed your life. Salute, Shakti. So
Yes.
I could just think of one incident that was about 3 years back. I was detected with a brain tumor. There was a tumor in my brain, and it was detected quite suddenly, and I wasn't prepared for it. And everyone was like, "Ab kya hoga?" And on the MRI, when I was getting my MRI done, there and then I decided कि नहीं, डरना नहीं है. I have to live. I have to live. I have to fight, and because my family needs me, and if I break down, they will be the ones to break down too. So I don't know from where I got that inner strength. Doctors didn't give me time. They said you require an immediate surgery. So they told me you could lose your memory, you could be on a wheelchair, and बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आपके साथ हो सकती है. So my first thought was, नहीं, if I lose my memory, what will I do? So just I took out a diary, a pen, I just jotted down whatever I thought I would need if I don't remember. So I just made a list of everything and I kept on my bedside table and I just told the doctor, जो कुछ करना है करो, पर मुझे मरना नहीं है. And within 1 week of diagnosis, the surgery was done. मुझे लगा था सिंपल है, सर्जरी हो गई, मैं ठीक हो गई, and everything is sorted out. But the difficult phase began after that, because with strong medicines and the effect of the medicines, effect of the operation, I had mood swings, there was fear of seizures, and I had strong medicines to cope with that. And along with that, I was not allowed any visitors. I had to stay alone. I couldn't use any phone. I wasn't able to talk, and no TV, nothing. So that was the time, like, I started going in a sort of depression. And then when I visited my doctor for the follow-up, I asked him, what should I do so that I can recover soon? So he said, just one thing, just be happy. मुझे लगा that's so simple. खुश होना क्या मुश्किल है? I said, okay, I'll do that. But when I came back, I realized that when the circumstances are adverse, being happy, staying happy, I think that's the most difficult thing. So I had to prepare for that. And then my, what should I say? My family came to my support. I started to learn to stay in my solitude. And in my solitude, my diary and my pen, they came to my rescue. I started writing my thoughts instead of speaking about them. And when I started writing, I started thinking. और जब मैंने सोचना शुरू किया, then I started afresh मेरी life में शुरू से कि मैंने क्या किया, क्या नहीं किया, क्या miss किया. फिर it was like what I have to do in future. कभी नहीं सोचा था. I was a normal housewife, busy with my kitty parties, my families, everything. कभी ऐसे सोचने का मौका ही नहीं मिला था, टाइम ही नहीं मिला था कि कुछ और भी लाइफ में करने को हो सकता है. And I was very happy with my life. Then in my solitude, I realized there is a lot more to life. There is a lot more that needs to be done. That was the time when I started getting up. Then कि मुझे आगे क्या करना है. My friends, my family, they were there with me. मुझे कुछ करना है was the first thing. I said no. I have to decide. This is the time. Now I have to decide what I have to do. And in the process of learning to live, I realized that giving back to the society is equally important. Along with living, you have to learn the art of. So that one thought changed my whole life process. And today it's been 3 years of my surgery. I have recovered. I have learned how to stay happy when the circumstances are not with you. I have learned to meditate. I have learned to stay calm. I have learned to be happy. And now, currently, I am running my own NGO. I started it 2 years back. 1 year after my surgery, I started my NGO in the name of Nanne Kadam. Right now, I'm running my own NGO. I'm working for the upliftment of children and women particularly. I'm last whole year we have been dealing with online education of the kids during the pandemic. We didn't sit down. We are dealing with their health, important issues. And for me, since my case was health related issue, we are laying more stress on health, and I'm working with the process of early diagnosis, health checkup camps, and I'm trying to encourage ladies to speak up, to discuss their problems.
Yeah.
Because you know what? In our society, there is a taboo about discussing about your health issues. People don't open up.
Right.
यार नहीं, मुझे बात नहीं करनी है, मैं लोगों के सामने अपना तमाशा नहीं बनाना है, जो भी है it's with me and I can deal with it. No, you can't deal with it alone. You have to talk to others. When you discuss things with others, you open up with others, you get many more avenues. And the thing is, your inner feelings, inner frustrations, you give a vent to them. That is most important. So currently I'm working with the health related issues of the women and organizing health checkup camps and everything, education of kids, because of the pandemic that has come to a standstill. So our main issues are that. And I thought of starting my own business because I learned that it's never too late. I was 45 when I got a break. And today I'm 48. And at 48, I'm making my new beginning, soon to be an entrepreneur. And hopefully things will go well and I'll come out victorious.
Good to hear that. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Amita. Ms. Sindhu, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful, like, as you said, yes, as women, women should come out and, tell their, what they are feeling inside them. And I think you are such a brave woman that you came out and you told your story, about the story. And I'm sure that a lot of people might not express themselves and not, actually tell what's going on or what has happened in their life. But I think I must salute you. Yes, salute to Shakti is definitely one of the things where I've come so far. I mean, this story is definitely I would say it touched my heart because it's not so easy, and you've seen life how it was and how it is. And I once again congratulate you for your NGO, and also after your surgery you have come up and you have thought for yourself that yes, I want to live and I can live, and I need to know what it is and what my life is. And you have definitely created a new life and you've come up with that, and I'm sure it is not so easy to come so far, but I think you have been so positive and you believed in yourself that no, you can do it, and you've done that for your family. And I must say that you are truly a brave woman, and definitely once again, ma'am, I think it is not an easy story, and you've learned a lot in your life, and I'm sure you always be happy, and I wish you all the very best for whatever you've been doing. And I'm sure that you've been helping out people out there, you've been reaching out people, you've been reaching out women, and you've been knowing what they want. And as people, they need to speak out so that when they speak out, when they tell their problems, they actually know what is going on within themselves. And I am sure that you've started this NGO, and you will clear all their problems, and you will always keep them happy. That is what I feel, and I'm sure you can do it. So once again, your story was truly an inspiration for all of us, and I once again congratulate you and wish you all the very best for your future.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sindhu. Thank you so much. Okay, before we go ahead with our last winner, Neha here, once again, she is somebody who is truly inspiration. She's young, she's a mover and shaker, and she's somebody who's actually dealt with everything that you can, every brick and every stone that you can imagine in order to establish her business. She's somebody who's totally motivated when it comes to being an entrepreneur, and I think gives a lot of inspiration for women out there, pan India, to really take the bull by its horns and not fear anything. Let's hear something from her. Neha, can we hear
Hi,
what you have to say to
thank you
us?
so much. I am, first of all, I would like to mention that I'm really glad to share this platform with you all. And I'm so honored that, I'm here today. And my story is something coming from a city like Jaipur, where not much importance is given for a girl to go ahead and do business or even to do a job. 5 years down the line, when I moved here in Mumbai, I started my business. And that's when, with the challenges that society has to give you, I got some really special things like demonetization. Having a business, it's very difficult for us to, get into such a scenario, starting a new business, getting demonetization from VAT to GST, and now this pandemic time. So it was difficult, but yes, the first person I would say who helped me was Bank of Baroda. So you need a current account, you need so many things. And Bank of Baroda was the only bank which really helped me, which believed in me, which believed in my idea of that I can do and I will succeed in life. Of course, there is my family who has supported me, but I would say more than them, people who actually encouraged me were the people who demotivated me. There were so many challenges from the society that, okay, you cannot do it. I'm just a graduate. Okay. And when I shared this idea that, okay, I want to go ahead and I want to do a business on my own. And there were people there who were like, okay, you are just a graduate. You think you can do it. And today I have proved them that people with best of degrees are working for me. So definitely I am very happy that I am here today. Since last year, when everybody is in the house, we are working. My business, Omki Exports, we are into kind of essential things where, you actually, to put it into simple words, it's like making a name to a brand. Right. So at one point, at one part of some country, there is a product. And I know that with our research team, that I know that this product will be used for this person, for this thing. And that's exactly what we do. So yes, since last year, we are doing this. We are helping people who are fighting, who are going through this difficult time, COVID, the sanitization process, people who need plasma, people who need beds in the hospitals or injections and all that. So yes, we have been doing this since last year. And that's about me, that yes, if a girl wants, she can do everything. And this is a very clear message to the society that you should never demotivate anybody. Because when a girl makes up her mind that it's from why me to try me, then nothing is impossible.
Yes. Great job, Neha. I think definitely I must say that you shouldn't, you should just believe in yourself. And I'm sure that being a graduate, even though a lot of people might have told so many things and demotivated you and said that you cannot do it, I think you have proved yourself to them, which is very important. And I think being a woman and proving yourself and just telling them or showing them that yes, I've done, I think that satisfaction is where you get that. And I completely understand. And once again, congratulations for whatever you're doing, and I'm sure that you would go more further. And what you've been doing right now, I think is definitely a great job, because a lot of people need these kind of stuff, and you are providing it. So I wish you all the very best. And yes, you always have to have that never give up attitude, where you have to just do that, and you have to believe in yourself, and I'm sure you can achieve anything. So once again, I congratulate and I wish all the best for your OMK experts as well. So yes, once again, yes, I'm very thankful to Bank of Baroda, where they've really supported you, and you could come so far. So I'm also very fortunate to be associated with them as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Neha, looking forward to the day when your company is registered as a unicorn company. So all the very best to you. All the very best to you. I'll be just cheering for you the day that happens. And each of these ladies, Ms. Sindhu has a question for you, one question each. We can start with you, Neha.
All right. So, Ms. Sindhu, my question to you is, what mental tool do you use under pressure?
So when I'm under pressure, when I play matches, or before the match, because sometimes you play in the finals and you get really stressed and tensed, or when you are playing a match and you're under pressure and you don't know what to do. So what I do is I just keep myself calm and stay focused. And also when I don't play matches or when I just train, so that is when I also started doing meditation, so that it keeps my mind calm. And when I play matches, when I tend to lose points and when I'm under pressure, so I just keep myself calm. I just close my eyes, just think that okay, it's okay. I just need to just play my game and just give my best, because winning and losing is part of life. So you can't expect that you will win all the time. At the same time, you want to give your best. So that is when you have to just think for yourself that yes, I will just do my best, and the rest it just depends on that particular day. So it is very important to just keep yourself calm and just be focused and play your game.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
Amitabh, would you like to ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Ms. Sindhu, my question to you is, generally, when women, they get married, sometimes they have to sacrifice their dreams or their aspirations for the sake of their family or their kids. Sometimes it's on their own will, sometimes it's forced upon them. So what is your take? What is your take on this?
Well, my take would be, even though you're married, I think you shouldn't leave your goals behind, because when you think something, when you want to achieve something in your life, I think whether if it's marriage or, you get married or anything, I think you have to just follow your dreams, and that is very important. And, especially being in sport, or, a woman who's doing business or something like that, I think you shouldn't, fear about leaving your job just because of your family, or just that you feel that, oh yeah, I need to give importance to my family. It is nothing like that. I'm sure that your family will support you no matter what, and definitely you can achieve whatever you want to. So I think that shouldn't be an issue where after getting married you have to give up on your career or whatever it is. But I would say that you have to just keep following your dreams, and I'm sure that you will go up.
Thank you so much.
Nupur, your question?
Okay. So, I've been working for the environment, and I just wanted to quickly ask you that, how can eco-friendliness and environment and sports be integrated? Because, recently we've been working for Vizag Navy Marathon and trying to make that eco-friendly, like it's due at the end of this year. And there are a lot of elements, like, there are flexes, there are these, water bottles and everything that's used that can be really, worked upon, or alternatives can be thought about. So how, as a sportswoman, how do you see your career or your field really integrating environment, or, how, as a sportswoman, how can there be a true brand ambassador for environment? What do you say about that?
Yeah, I think it is definitely a great idea, because initiatives like these are very important, so that everybody would understand what it is and understand that how the environment is and how is it going. So we have to be in this environment, so we need to understand. So being a sports person, yes, it would be great that like these initiatives should come up, and they need to speak up and talk and create in such a way that when you talk about the plastic or water bottles or these kinds of stuff, if you say to one person or another person, I'm sure that it will pass on to a lot of people, and I'm sure that it would become a large thing. So then people would understand, okay, what it is about. So I would say that, especially for me, being an athlete, being a sports person, for me it is that initiatives like these should come up a lot more and create that awareness around people.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you very much. Once again, thank you very much, ladies, for joining us this afternoon. It was absolutely a privilege for you to be here. Thank you very much for winning this contest. And thank you to Bank of Baroda. And thank you very much, Ms. PV Sandhu, for joining us. It was such a privilege for you to be with us, share your thoughts, what you think about these wonderful women, and of course, about this wonderful initiative which was taken by Bank of Baroda. Salute her, Shakti. Thank you very, very much. And we look forward to your performance in Tokyo 2021. All the very best for that. We will all be cheering for you. We're all your women fan brigade right here. Most all the very, very best to you. And a big thank you to your parents for giving you to us and for shining a spotlight on your wonderful talent. Thank you very much, Nupur, Amita, and Neha. Thank you very much for your stories. Thank you very much. More power to you, more Shakti to you. And I hope we see you very, very soon doing bigger and better things. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, ladies, and stay safe.
Really thankful, and definitely these all stories are really inspiring, and once again I wish them all the very best. I wish all three of you all the very best, and once again I would like to thank Bank of Baroda for giving me this opportunity to interact with you and know a lot of things. Thank you so much.
Thank you.